Hi, how are you? I'm Dr. Richard Giannato of the Giannato Clinic, and we are going to start a YouTube series on metabolic wellness. Your metabolism, it's a term you've heard before, but metabolism is the sum total of all of the chemical reactions that occur in your body to make you who you are. Any imbalances in the system will cause you to start to be prone to chronic diseases like heart disease or high blood pressure, even dementia like Alzheimer's disease, certain cancers, stroke. These are typically known as the chronic diseases of aging. Metabolic wellness is a concept that implies an uninterrupted balance between the various systems and chemical reactions that make up your body. It is that state of health in which the progression to the chronic diseases of aging is minimized. So you really do want to achieve this. Metabolic wellness is actually vitality, longevity, and harmony. It is that state of nirvana for the body and the mind. And you know what? Once you reach this state, you will live your life actively until your last day, and you will be disease-free. So the following broadcast that I'm going to do will address the ways in which to achieve metabolic balance. By the time you have finished this series, I guarantee that you will be more knowledgeable in this area than 90% of the population, including many healthcare practitioners. This is all new data, and I hope it impacts you in a positive way. So by way of introduction, I've identified 5 pillars of metabolic wellness. These 5 areas must be addressed and must be balanced in order to achieve the type of wellness that we're talking about. Now, the first of the 5, nutrition. You probably guessed that. But any food that you consume sends signals to your body's DNA at the cellular level, resulting in chemical reactions that either promote health or promote disease. There's no middle area, there's no gray area. Every piece of food that you put in your mouth will either cause health or disease at a cellular level. A whole branch of science called nutrigenomics has grown up around this and studies all of these food-gene interactions and has delineated many good effects and many harmful effects of food. So as we'll find out in this series, a proper nutrition status or program has 3 components. We need to measure your nutritional status before we start. We need to prescribe the correct foods that are aligned with your body, and we need to prescribe supplements because you're not getting all of them just in our food chain anymore. The second pillar that we talk about, hormone optimization. As we age, most of the hormones produced by our body actually decrease. There are 2 hormones which actually increase as we age. Cortisol, the stress hormone produced by the adrenal glands, and insulin produced by the pancreas. This is why as we get older, a combination of cortisol and insulin produce weight gain, belly fat, and cause chronic diseases of aging such as type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance. The sex hormones, including testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, they all decrease, as do the thyroid hormones. Growth hormone, DHEA, and melatonin also decrease. Now remember something. The reason we're mentioning this is that hormones actually control metabolism along with your lifestyle habits, including nutrition. So if your hormones are not balanced, metabolism is disrupted and disease occurs. Number 3 in the 5 pillars is exercise. Movement controls the fate of the body's aging process. Specific kinds of exercise can exert an interaction with your genes at a cellular level. The proper exercise-gene interactions can reduce inflammation and oxidation, strengthen your heart, accelerate fat burning, and reverse many of the chronic problems of aging. The 4th metabolic pillar would be stress levels. We live in a 24/7 world. We're stressed. If you go to a conference and you ask a group of doctors who here is free of stress, nobody raises their hand. Chronic stress causes chronic cortisol release from the adrenal glands, and as I mentioned earlier, this causes weight gain, belly fat, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic disruption. It destroys any semblance of balance between your hormones. Stress needs to be controlled. Now, I can't tell you that the amount of stress you have in your life is going to decrease, but what I can teach you to do is to react to that stress differently so that it makes a large difference for our metabolism. Finally, the 5th pillar of metabolic wellness is our toxic burden. We live in a very polluted world. We're constantly exposed to chemical toxins which disrupt hormone balance and ultimately affect our metabolism. The sum total of all of these toxins stored in our body is referred to as our toxic burden. This burden disrupts metabolic balance in each of the other 4 areas. We must eliminate the toxic burden to achieve health. So, in closing, the Metabolic Wellness Program at the Giannotto Clinic carefully evaluates each of these 5 pillars and formulates a very personalized program for each of you to achieve and maintain wellness. Join us next time as we begin to discuss the other aspects of these areas. Thank you.